The top stories for this hour. Ethiopia and the UK signed a memorandum of understanding to enhance peace and stability in the Kenya-Somalia-Ethiopia border areas. And members of the African Union Media Fellow says Africa needs technologically equipped media to be competitive globally. Hello and very warm welcome to EBC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism. With the news, I'm Binyam Getana with the latest updates for the hour. Do stay tuned. Here now the news in brief. Ethiopia and the United Kingdom signed this morning a memorandum of understanding to enhance peace and stability in the Kenya-Somalia-Ethiopia border areas. The memorandum of understanding aims to boost the resilience of communities across the Ethiopia-Kenya-Somalia borders to the drivers of violent extremism. Deputy Director General of African Department at Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Jamaluddin Mustafa, and British Ambassador to Ethiopia, Darren Welch, inked the Memorandum of Understanding in a ceremony held on the premises of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia. The two sides expressed their commitment to working together to reduce the threat posed by Al-Shabaab in the region. Meanwhile, the United States Agency for International Development has donated $3 million worth TB diagnostic machines to Ethiopia. USAID Mission Director in Ethiopia, Scott Hocklander, handed over the Gen Expert TB machine to Health State Minister Dejene Duguma today. Speaking on the occasion, Mission Director Hocklander said the U.S. government will step up its support to make Ethiopia's activities in the health sector to become more successful. Accordingly, the USAID has donated today 156 tuberculosis diagnostic machines that strengthen the TB diagnosis capability of the nation. State Minister Duguma, for his part, mentioned about the support that has been rendered by USAID to Ethiopia's health sector in areas of maternal and child health care, nutrition and disease prevention. As the news continues, members of the African Union Media Fellow says Africa needs technologically equipped media firms so as to be competitive globally and tell more progressive stories. The journalist who visited EBC's newly built compound around the Shogole area up north in the Addis Katama subsidy with the AU Media ticket said the 60-year-old Ethiopian Broadcasting Corporation is moving in the right direction in this regard. Yersalim Baza compiled the full story.
Africa, Africa, Africa. In 1963, ETV, Ethiopia's first and only electronic media station at the time, was the pioneer to announce the formation of OAU to Africans and Friends of Africa. Millions remained glued to their black and white screens in a nation gripped with TV euphoria. On Friday, the African Media Fellows have had an opportunity to visit EBC's new media complex. The journalists appreciated the army of modern equipment and state-of-the-art technology employed by EBC in its pursuit of fresh, credible stories from around the continent and beyond.
The equipment is very, very new, yeah, and I think that is a good place to work for people, for journalists especially, to work because there is enough air for journalists to work.
I travel across the world looking at it. It's really world standard because if you go to UAE, Dubai Media Studios, you go to Al Jazeera, you go to BBC, the technology that is there 2024 is the same technology that you see here. So Ethiopia has made Africa proud by making sure having a modern studio complex which is in line with global standards. Just like Ethiopian Airline, which is making the whole of Africa proud. So Ethiopian Broadcasting Corporation is also making Africa proud with rich history and a modern building.
Coordinator of the AU Media Fellows, Weni Musabia, also urged African media houses to follow suit and equip themselves with as many high-tech instruments as they can. Musabia also expressed hopes that EBC will go a long way to contribute for booming the film industry, apart from the pursuing the news purpose.
We have seen facilities that are fully digital. We have seen the transformation because initially we were taken to the museum, and so the media fellows that we have here have had the appreciation of what broadcasting used to be way back from the 1960s, and I think even further than that. So they have had that appreciation and also have now seen the modern methods of news gathering, news processing, and also of news distribution. So in this facility, I think that we have seen everything. Apart from the news section, we have also seen facilities where outsiders can actually come in to produce programs. So it's like a media organization, but also a production house. But further than a production house, it has also outside facilities where people can go and film and be as creative as they want.
The African Media Fellows also called on EBC to contribute its fair share in efforts geared towards ensuring that African voice remain impactful in the global arena.
Welcome back. You're still watching ABC World live from the capital, Addis Ababa. With us once again, I'm Binam Getan. Now stepping to another development. Jordan expressed the resolve to heighten diplomatic ties to Ethiopia in various fields. During a two-day working visit to Ethiopia, Jordan Minister of Tourism and Antiquities singled out cultural and religious tourism areas to boost the relationship, which he said have kept blossoming. An educational seminar under the theme presenting Jordan from the aspect of religious, medical, cultural and tourism was held here at the Jordan Embassy. And our reporter Tigster Nisa has compiled the full story. Have a look.
Tourism sector and
the Embassy of Ishmael of Kingdom of Jordan held an educational seminar themed presenting Jordan from the aspects of religious, medical, cultural and tourism. In his keynote speech to the seminar participants, Minister of Tourism and Antiquities Makram Kais stated that Ethiopia and Jordan have a lot in common, making it even more convenient to find areas of cooperation.
I'm here as the first Minister of Tourism to visit. I say it with pride, but I say it as well with regret that we did not reach out earlier. And also, I'm here to translate His Majesty's vision to open up, to reach out to Africa and to Ethiopia in specific. We have shared history. We have places of interest to visitors.
To top these efforts off, Jordan and Ethiopia have drafted an agreement that would go a long way to enhancing the ties. The minister reflected on the status of the MOU.
And I can also tell you that an MOU was ready for signature. We both decided not to sign because after we had rounds of talks, we discovered that if we put our acts together, if we work hand in hand, if we work shoulder to shoulder, we will do much more than was drafted in this MOU. The first step is this visit, and the connectivity is there, thanks to the Ethiopian Airlines.
For Nassisi Jali, Ethiopian Minister of Tourism, the fact that the two ancient nations both pride themselves with unique histories have earned them a special place in the tourism map of the world.
As you all know, Ethiopia and the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan have huge potential for tourism development in the realms of history, culture, nature, and religious tourism. The two countries have unique histories which earned them a special place on the tourism map of the world. They are also home to unique cultures which leave tourists spellbound. Given the abundance of our tourism resources, we have a long way to go towards maximizing the benefits we reap from the tourism sector. For example, Ethiopia today shelters 11 UNESCO recognized World Heritage and 5 intangible heritage, which makes it a leading heritage nation in Africa.
She went on saying that ramping up the tourism cooperation between the two sisterly nations, the gain from tourism resources can be unleashed.
We can unleash our potentials and maximize the gains from our tourism resources by elevating the existing cooperation between our sisterly nations. More specifically, we can leverage unique positions we have in the history of mankind to offer a fertile ground to collaborate in a developing joint tourism products around our precious religious sites and heritages. Medical tourism is also another area where Ethiopia and the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan can develop jointly.
The exchange between Ethiopia and Jordan stands at 22 million USD a year. There are some Jordanian investors in Ethiopia engaged mainly in the manufacturing and agro-processing sectors.
And now in our final news package, the Korean International Cooperation Agency said activities are well underway to launch a new program to support higher institutions to bring qualified workforce in Ethiopia. In an exclusive interview with EBC World, Cho Ham-dyong, country director with KOICA's Ethiopia office, reiterated South Korea's commitment to support Ethiopia in various fields. Our reporter Habtam Mashagri sat down with the country director and compiled the following account. To stay tuned.
Ethiopia-South Korean ties go back to the 1960s and have been progressing in various fields. The two have been observing their 16th anniversary in various assortments. In an exclusive interview with the BC World, KOICA's Ethiopia office country director Cho Han-dyong said his agency has finalized preparations to launch a new program in Ethiopia.
Next year, we are going to launch a $45 million project for the higher education development, higher education capacity building development program. Those programs aim at upgrading the higher education programs and the R&D capacities in higher education.
KOICA, as a development cooperation platform in Ethiopia, has been entering into partnerships with a wide array of stakeholders, including Ethiopian government ministers, regional state bodies, public institutions, private sectors, civic society, and academia. According to the country director, solidifying further cooperation is needed that implement with the long-standing and historical relations with the two countries.
We try to align our cooperation with the Ethiopian government's economic and social development policies and strategies. I think Ethiopian governments have have developed very good policies and strategies. In terms of the poverty reductions, like Ethiopian government's development policies and strategies, our activities are all related to the poverty reduction.
Cho Han-Deong also indicated that his country will give priority to its historical relations with Ethiopia for further cooperation in areas of sustainable development as well as other fields.
To achieve SDGs and alleviate poverty, I believe economic growth and peace and international cooperations are some of the key areas that Ethiopian government should strengthen its efforts. Korea may be able to contribute more to the SDG achievement in Ethiopia.
The country director recognized the effective activities of Ethiopia to eradicate poverty, backwardness, drought, among others, by implementing SDG plans.
And now a reminder of the headlines. Ethiopia and the UK signed a memorandum of understanding to enhance peace and stability in the Kenya-Somalia-Ethiopia border areas. And members of the African Union Media Fellow says Africa needs technologically equipped media to be competitive globally. Thank you for your company. You've been watching ABC World from the capital, Addis Ababa, the voice of Pan-Africanism. Do stay tuned with the remaining ABC World program, and goodbye for me now.